What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Devils, Customs, and Creatures. Today I will be revealing the final build for the You Pick 'em contest, which was won by BJ's Customs. He chose the Chevy tuned Silverado and the Bone Shaker to mash up. So I decided to go with kind of a rat rod race track car for this one. So stick around and see what we come up with. I think the most fun in any mashup build is the initial releasing from the package or just grabbing each casting and, holding up next to each other and seeing what is really going to work between the two castings. This can be frustrating, but it also can be rewarding once you find a combination that fits with just using both cars. I try not to add any other cars or anything else when I do these mashups, just basically what comes with it, other than probably wheel swap and stuff like that. This one, I believe, was pretty much all just the two cars. As we go in the video, I will correct myself if that's not the case, but I believe I used just the two cars and their parts to make this build. Now here's the part where it gets interesting, when I have all these pieces just in front of me and I start trying and fitting to see what will work. Do I want to make a tuned Bone Shaker? Do I want to make a Silverado Shaker? What do I want to make out of these two castings? Obviously with a tuned body, it's a little more challenging because of the size and that it is so unproportionate. That was the biggest challenge here, is trying to get something that I liked between the two castings. So what I decided to do first and foremost was take the two front clips off of each car. That way there I could still use the Bone Shaker engine and not have to worry about the fronts. And the jeweler's saw doesn't last long in this process. I ended up taking my rotary tool and just cutting them off, as I broke about 3 blades trying to do this. You'll see here, even with the front clips off, I'm still not sure on where I want to go with this. Things are getting a little bit easier to piece together. I'm starting to feel like I'm going to be using this Silverado on the Bone Shaker base. Obviously, we're still going to need to cut off this back area here, so that's what I'm going to do here. And once I get that tail piece off, I notice here that I'm still going to have to do some work inside the bed of the Silverado, because it does have this rear lip that kind of gets in the way, so we're just going to go ahead and get that cut off as well. As you can see, it was a real finicky spot to get into, and we'll have a little cleanup to do here. But here I am again, just testing it. It actually, the peg fit in the hole, but you'll see a little bit later that the wheels do not line up with the wheel wells, so I have to do a little bit more modification there. But I'm liking how this is coming together so far. No, this is not the final reveal. This is just a little bit more work done to get this mocked up. I put the glass in the Silverado just to lift it up at the front, but I don't think I'm going to be using the glass. As you can see, the back seats of the Bone Shaker are away past the glass, so that's not going to work for us. And this is going to be like a dirt racer rat rod, so we don't need a windshield. I did decide to keep the hood for the Bone Shaker just to tie in the front end a little bit better. Watch my big hands out of the way here. You'll be able to see it in place. I think that kind of finishes off the front end. I have a couple still shots here after adding an axle tube to the rear and stripping the paint. I was talking to Keith over at Outlaw Speed Shop, and he suggested maybe doing a roll cage, so I did that as well, as you can see here. Just a simple cage to kind of build up the front end and to also kind of tie it all in together. I also finished off the bed with a little bit of balsa wood. After finally getting some primer on this, I really started to see the vision come together. I decided to go with this Astaroth Red from Citadel, as it's a very flat, dry paint, and that's the look that I wanted to go with. Here I start adding some details in. I used gold and silver for the engine area and the front headlights, just to kind of contrast against the black and the red. I didn't really want to go with a full rust out of this car, but more of a scuffed up kind of black track marks on it. This may be a little tough to see, but I wanted to put a driver's side mirror on the car, so I accomplished that using a rhinestone and a little piece of wire. I just glued that to the A-pillar. And if you remember, this is what we started out with. An 83 tuned Silverado and a bone shaker as picked by BJ's Customs in my You Pick 'em contest. And here's what we came up with. Well, I hope you agree that this is a cool little casting made from two cars that you would never think would fit together. I was a little intimidated when BJ picked the tuned Silverado, but I think all in all, it came together very well. Put the little gas tank under there, detailed everything out, gave it some dirt and grime, and called it a day. I hope you enjoyed this video as I enjoyed making it. I hope BJ will enjoy this as I'll be sending it out to him. Please stick around for the glamour shots, and until the next one, be well.